Hello, welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast. My name is Dallas, and if I catch you whining about Captain America being black, I will put your tears in a water bottle and spit them into the air like Triple H.
I love that.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm Colin, and yep, that's.
Yes.
I'll see you later.
And I'm Demi, and you know what? Marvel and Star Wars can't stop and won't stop. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Last time, we talked about D23 Expo's Walt Disney Studios and Pixar panel. Today, we will be talking about Marvel, Lucasfilm, and 20th Century panel.
Yes, we will. I mean, maybe. Colin just, it sounds like he's about to walk out.
He might. We'll let you know if he does.
Yeah, speaking of people who abandoned us, Gabby's not here, but she wanted to let everyone know that she's very excited to see Florence Pugh's thighs in Thunderbolts. Before we get into it,
I didn't know where that was going, but, good job.
Yeah, you know me.
I thought you were actually going to give like a really unironic one, but...
Do you know me?
I thought you were going to be nice today.
His brand.
I'm nice. That is true. She is excited to... Never mind.
We don't know if that's actually true.
We do.
Yeah, come on.
Not in Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
continue. we
not
do.
specifically in Thunderbolts, but where the... Never
Continue.
mind.
Just
Before
continue.
we get into the episode, please like, share, and subscribe because like I said last time, we can become, internet famous or whatever, and then we can become D23 people. Press passes, all that fun stuff. Gabby can meet Florence Pugh if they ever show up at the same con at
Gabby
the same time.
will never want to meet Florence Pugh. Kind of
Yeah,
like
but I
how she
think it
does
would
not
be
want to
funny.
meet Chris Evans.
Yeah.
She could do both.
She could do both.
Hey. All right, you guys ready to get this started?
Let's do it. Colin, don't leave.
So even though this 20th Century Studios part was the last part, we're going to do it first because I think all of us feel the same way about Avatar. Well, we don't feel the same way about Avatar, but compared to Star Wars and Marvel, it's just not as high up on our priority list.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Avatar. Director James Cameron attended the panel virtually. He's still working on the film in New Zealand. The movie stars Zoe Saldana, Sam Worthington, Sigourney Weaver, and Stephen Lang, who all appeared at the panel in person, moderated by James Cameron's producing partner, John Landau. Avatar: The Way of Water kicked off production 5 years ago, which has kicked off a production cycle for this entire series. Avatar 4 is currently filming, and the first film has recently been remastered for re-release in 4K, 3D, 48 frames per second, high dynamic range, and Atmos. Sigourney Weaver will be playing Jake Sully's teenage daughter. She said,
"Only Jim is crazy enough to have written this character for me, and I'm so grateful and so excited."
Yeah, I have questions.
And Stephen Lang returns for Avatar: The Way of Water and says,
Well, you can't keep a good Marine down, I guess. So, yeah, he just regrouped in hell.
What? Oh my God.
oh, he died in the first one, remember?
Yeah, but just what a metal thing to say.
Yeah, apparently there was also some exclusive footage that was shown in 3D. So, yeah, I don't know if there's a description of that anywhere. I didn't find any. So, or at least I didn't actually take the time to go look. I'm excited about a new Avatar movie coming out because I respect all of the technological advancements that came from the first one in 2009. I loved that movie when it first came out. I bought the extended edition that came out on DVD like months later, where there are, I have 3 different versions of that movie on one disc.
Okay.
So, yeah, I really loved that movie when it first came out. And here we are, 13 years later.
Yeah.
And so I am excited about the new one. I do want to see what James Cameron has done technologically with this one. I have heard from people who have seen parts of the movie that it's going to do what Avatar did for 3D again.
Right.
And it, and that it just looks amazing.
I'm sure it will. I mean, it's been so many years.
13.
That's a lot. That's a whole kid. That's a teenager. That doesn't age. I don't care about Avatar anymore. I really liked Avatar in 2009. I was like, yo, that movie was so dope. They got Space Panthers or something. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, we all were super excited when that movie came out.
Yeah,
the whole
we all
world. That's
saw it.
why it was the highest grossing film
All the money.
of all time until freaking Endgame, I think.
Yeah. And then a decade passed. And people were like, wait, Avatar? They're doing that again?
Yeah.
And here we are. I will probably see it. Maybe. I don't know.
I think we should. I'm going to.
Like, it feels like what will happen is I'll see this one, and then that will determine if I bother with the rest of them.
Fair.
Because there are going to be 5 of these.
Yeah.
And Avatar, the first one, story-wise, it's just kind of there. So, I don't know.
What do you mean just kind of there?
People have argued that it's derivative, and you can say that it is. And it's just okay, these
A lot of
people come to
movies
this
are derivative.
planet. yeah, but this one just okay. People come to the planet, they try to take over the planet. Oh man, the natives.
The natives.
My thing is, if you're gonna be derivative, you have to bring something to the table, and Avatar, at the very least, did bring something to the table.
True. Hair sex.
Wow, that's not where I was going with that at all. Colin is broken. Dallas just broke Colin.
It's just a thing. It's a thing that's in the movie. It's not something I've seen in another movie. So original.
You didn't watch Bad Hair?
I didn't watch Bad Hair.
Did you? No, there wasn't any hair sex in the Inhumans.
No, there was not. Continue.
No, that was it. Hair sex. By the time we get to Avatar 5,
how old are we going to be?
Is the movie going to be 6 hours? Because James Cameron is very adamant about, hey, if the movie's too long for you, just get up and leave. I'm going to make my movie as long as I want.
That's fair. At least he didn't tell you that you have to sit down and watch the whole thing.
Yeah, but I just like
what do you guys want from this man?
Well, what I want, because it seems weird to me, because he's also saying, go ahead and miss pieces of my art.
That was the thing that was weird to me.
That's what I don't get.
I mean, if you got to pee, you got to pee.
Because you also have to edit it down. And so you're choosing what you think is the best and most important stuff to go into the movie.
Yeah.
And you're fine with people missing bits. I don't know. It's just, like, what if you just made it shorter?
I think if you're fine with people missing bits of the movie, more power to you, bro. You got all the money already. I don't. So when I spend my $20 at the movie theater, I don't want to get up and miss parts because you made this movie 3 hours and 45 minutes. I'm exaggerating. I don't think that's the runtime of any movie that he's going to make. But I don't know. There's 5 of these. He might get there. He might just put out a miniseries in the theater. But also, I'm pretty good at just peeing before the movie starts. I stayed through Batman twice. Oh, the Batman, sorry. I stayed through Endgame. I can handle it. But also, I really like those characters and source materials.
Yeah.
I don't know if I care enough about Avatar to sit through it for that long. But we'll find out.
But that's the thing. The movie's supposed to make you care. So
it's supposed to, yeah. We'll find out if it does.
Exactly. All right, I'm assuming we don't have anything more to say about Avatar. So we're going to move on to me talking for the next half hour about Lucasfilm.
All right.
So yeah, the Lucasfilm panel, portion of the panel was moderated by Kathleen Kennedy. And the first thing up was Andor, which got a final trailer because the show comes out within the next couple of weeks. The panel was attended by series stars Diego Luna, Genevieve O'Reilly, Kyle Soller, and Adria Arjona, or Asa Gonzalez, if you ask Dallas.
There she is.
Not who she is. Soller's character will be someone you love to hate, while Adria's Bix has a complicated on and off relationship with Andor. Diego says,
it's about the awakening of a revolutionary. It's about someone finding out that there's a purpose, that there's something to fight for. And you'll see a whole community reacting. This is about, bringing change, and hopefully a story you will love to watch.
This trailer is so good, and I honestly think that Andor might end up being the best Star Wars series that we've gotten so far. It just looks like it's so well made, and it looks like it's really well written and really intriguing and compelling, and like a really cool war story to follow. I really liked Andor in Rogue One. My thing is with Rogue One was that I never got too attached to the characters, and that might have been partially because I knew that they were all going to die by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I think that the writers also kind of wrote them in a way where like you could get attached but not too attached because they'll die. So it's really nice to have a TV show about Andor because he was a very interesting character. I did find it fascinating that he basically was a character who was on the side of the Separatists. He grew up as a Separatist. When you're watching the prequels, the Separatists are the bad guys, but then when you get to the original trilogy, he's now a rebel. But he's never switched sides. He's always been against this government entity. I think that's really interesting for this character because it's not something that you typically think about. I love the prequel aesthetic of all the government buildings and interiors and stuff like that whenever Mon Mothma is around. But then the really like original trilogy, old school look, run down, beat up everything for all the war stuff. I love Saw Gerrera. It's a fantastic character, and I'm glad that Forrest Whitaker is back playing him for this show. Saw is always great because he's just such an extremist. So he's like the guy that you don't really want to work with as part of a rebellion, but sometimes got to do whatever it takes at any cost.
It'd be like that.
Any means necessary. And that's who his character is. So it's always really interesting to have him come in and interact with other rebels. And then on top of that, a lot of this reminds me of a few plot points from Leia, Princess of Alderaan, which is a Star Wars novel that I've read, where Leia discovers that her parents are part of the Rebel Alliance, and it's basically about how she becomes a rebel herself.
Nice.
So it kind of reminded me a bit of that with like her being involved in the Senate in certain ways, but also doing underhanded things because we don't believe in this government that we work for.
Right.
So I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to see what they do with Andor. And it's so soon. It's so close.
It is. It's about to hit.
It is so close, and I'm very, very excited. Next up on the panel was Willow, which there was a trailer for. It's coming to Disney Plus in November. The cast of the show attended the panel with Warwick Davis, Joanne Whalley, Aaron Kellyman, who I love, Ellie Bamber, Ruby Cruz, Tony Revolori, Dempsey Brick, Amar Chadha Patel, and Christian Slater, who was announced to have joined the show on the panel. They also released a new poster.
I really like this poster.
It is a really nice poster.
The colors are so dope. Just the clouds and the fire sky and the not fire sky. Aurora Borealis looking vibes.
The cast is hilarious because they came out on stage and one of the guys in the cast was just like, I don't remember us taking this. Well, this is good job from our stunt doubles.
Oh, yeah.
It's photoshopped.
I just realized I have no idea what Willow is.
I also have no idea what. Like, I was watching this trailer and I was like, okay, so it's generic epic fantasy. Yep, that's all I got.
I don't know what. I mean, like, no, I've heard of Willow.
Exactly. I nothing.
Did not think this is what it was.
I think I knew that it was some kind of fantasy thing because Demi has said that it's fantasy, but in terms of what it was, what it's about, nothing.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so I've never actually seen Willow.
Same.
It's on my watch list, mostly because I really want to watch this TV series because it sounds interesting to me. I love fantasy just about anything. I'm not with Colin on saying that all things fantasy are generic.
That's not what I said, but all right.
That's what you've said about just about any fantasy thing that we talk about on this show.
Well, a lot of the fantasy we talk about on this show does look generic.
So I'm going to make the blanket statements
don't do
made.
That. That's not how
what we do here.
I'm making the blanket statement. It's too late. It's already been made, and I'm going to stick to it.
Damn it.
Yeah, but I think that first off, that trailer is beautiful. The cinematography looks amazing.
The visuals are fantastic.
So yeah, I'm excited to watch the movie now, which was made in like the 80s.
Yeah.
But I love 80s fantasy movies. The trailer reminded me of an 80s fantasy movie, but with modern day visuals. And I think that's fantastic. I'm definitely going to watch this show, and I'm definitely going to watch the movie beforehand because obviously, like I said, I've never seen the movie, but I'm very excited to watch it. I'm just waiting until we get closer to Willow, the TV series, before I actually watch the movie. So I have a more recent knowledge of what it is.
That's fair. You got a couple months. I really like all of the scary looking monster people.
The Hellraiser looking things?
Yeah, they look really cool. Like the mask, the one that's definitely a swole pinhead because it has like the cage and everything like that. It also reminded me of Sandman when he goes to hell and then that big bouncer is like, what you doing here, man? That's not the dialogue, but you get it.
Might as well have been.
Yeah, he basically said, what you doing here, man?
Yeah, the visuals and the vibe on this. Yeah, I think the cinematography does a really good job of kind of giving information as to where you are, what's happening, what the vibe is, what the tone is, and I think it works really well in this trailer.
They did a good job. Because I had negative 1% interest in Willow, and after seeing the trailer, it's slightly higher, just off how good it looks alone.
What number would you give it now?
I mean, it's not high, but
it's not a -1.
Well, it was -1.
Yes.
So you had interest in not seeing it.
I guess so.
So now, just give me a number.
Now it's like a 15.
Let's say 15.
Okay.
Let's say 15.
Okay.
No, I'll give you a cool 21.
Does that go up if you remember that it's a Disney Plus series and thus you don't have to do anything or go anywhere or pay any extra money?
I feel like with most series, I just assume if I'm going to watch it, someone has the password.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a movie. When a movie comes out, I'm like, oh man, is this in the theater? Do I got to go?
Do I need to pay for my wife's ticket?
Exactly.
It's
Do I got to
commitment.
pay for the popcorn and all that? Yeah, I'd say 21%.
Okay.
Also, as I said before, I love Erin Kellyman, and I really want to support like almost anything she does. So
She is dope.
she's
And I love
great.
Tony Revolori.
He's also fantastic.
Great dude. I mean, actor. I don't know him as a man. I don't know the man. But I hope he's cool. He seems cool.
But yeah, it's coming in Disney Plus in November. Next up, we are heading back to Star Wars with The Bad Batch, which, yes. Season 2 is coming to Disney Plus on January 4th, 2023. Season 2 is going to be 16 episodes long. Dave Filoni attended the panel to talk about The Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, and Ahsoka. There is not much more information than that about The Bad Batch. I'm excited because I like The Bad Batch. I think it's a great animated show.
Kayla really likes The Bad Batch.
Nice.
This
That's
is the
good
one
to know.
about the clones, right?
Yes.
And there's something wrong with them?
Yes.
Got
They all have like little special
What,
quirks
Colin?
about them. He's not wrong.
That's the premise. There's something wrong
It
with the
is.
clones. They're bad. It's a bad batch.
You stated it so bluntly.
I don't know anything else. I haven't seen it. But I have seen kind of like, when I used to walk through the living room when you were watching hentai.
I was not watching hentai.
I walked through the room while she was watching The Bad Batch. I was like,
That's
oh,
not
okay,
what
that's
was
pretty cool.
happening.
It's
It
a
was
very
not.
different reaction to
It's
what you
not.
were watching.
I was not watching hentai.
It's a much better reaction.
Yeah, I walked through and
Why?
oh, okay.
Why
I
did
can
you
see
say
why you're
these
into this.
things?
When I walked through when you were watching TV, it's like, whoa, man, it is 3:00 in the afternoon.
Oh my god.
Go to your room with that.
But I'm also really excited because it means Michelle Ang is coming back to my screen. And I love Michelle Ang, and I have since I was a kid, back when she was on The Tribe, which is a New Zealand show that none of you guys are probably going to know what it is. So
You right as hell.
it's fine. I've been a fan of her since she was Tyson.
Technically, I know what it is because I know you.
Okay. Oh, is she the main
She plays Omega,
Omega? Yeah.
the tiny clone, the girl clone. She's great. Just to see her go from like a character from a show that like not a lot of people know about that I used to watch as a kid religiously, and seeing her play like a character in the biggest franchise that I am absolutely in love with is like super, super cool. So I love
that for you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Tales of the Jedi, which is coming to Disney Plus on October 26th. Late birthday gift to me. I love it. It's going to be 6 shorts, 3 following Ahsoka and 3 following young Count Dooku and young Qui-Gon Jinn. And they released a trailer for the show, which I've already seen because I went to Star Wars Celebration. And this was actually one of the panels that I went to, that I got into.
Nice.
One of the bigger panels that I got into. And so as part of that panel, I've already seen the first episode of this show.
Oh, cool.
And I'm super excited to finally get to watch the rest of the 5 because I really loved that first episode. Jedi are my favorite thing about Star Wars. Just there is nothing quite like Jedi in other media except for like samurai, because they're based off of samurai.
That makes sense.
But you know, there's nothing quite like the Jedi and the Force, and like that's what I come to Star Wars for. Like I love everything in Star Wars. I love the Star Wars universe, but like the big thing for me is the Jedi. Those are my favorite part of it. So to have a show that is just going to be, here are some shorts about different Jedi is exciting to me. Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters. Ahsoka is a fantastic character. And then also getting to see young Count Dooku and young Qui-Gon Jinn and kind of delve deeper into that relationship, which is something that we didn't get any of in the prequel. We knew that they were Master and Padawan, but we didn't get to dive into that because that's not what the story was about. So now we get to have these little short films from the man who was the apprentice to George Lucas. So, and also Dave Filoni created Ahsoka, so that's his baby.
Oh, cool.
He takes care of her whenever she's involved in anything. And I think it was interesting at Star Wars Celebration, he talked about how I think he said that there was a similarity between Count Dooku and Ahsoka as being Jedi who saw that there was something wrong with the Jedi Order and that they were falling down the wrong path. But they are 2 very different people based off of the paths that they chose to go down after they discovered this information. So he decided to use these 2 separate stories to kind of show their similarities, but also the differences in paths that you take down through life. So I'm really excited to see them. I think it was announced at Star Wars Celebration. It was announced at Star Wars Celebration. Liam Neeson's son is playing the younger version of Qui-Gon Jinn in the episode.
Cool.
I like that.
Janina Gavankar is in the first episode as Ahsoka's mom. And we are fans of Janina here at the podcast.
Is her other Star Wars character not canon?
Aiden? No, Aiden is canon.
Okay.
But Aiden actually looks like Janina.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's other. Okay, cool.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is Dave Filoni always wearing this hat? I Googled him.
I don't know. That's just his
Maybe
thing.
he doesn't like how his hair looks?
Okay. Because
No, that's Filoni's thing. He wears the cowboy hat, and that's it. We don't ask questions.
Got it. I was like, what's going on? Because
Yeezy Haws direct Star Wars.
It's his version of Feige's baseball cap.
Got it. That makes
Filoni
sense.
is always wearing a cowboy hat.
Interesting, because I saw like a couple of pictures and I was like, let me hit images, see if it's always there. It's always there.
Always.
I respect the consistency, Dave.
Like I said, like Feige with the baseball cap.
I did not know that he was a cowboy.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
But speaking of Dave Filoni creating Ahsoka, we've also got the Ahsoka TV series, which is coming out. I was hoping for a trailer. There was not one. But the show stars Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, Natasha Liu Bordizzo as Sabine Wren, and recently cast Iman Esfandi as Ezra Bridger. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, dude, but I'm really excited about you being on this show because you look exactly like the character, which is crazy because that's an animated character.
Nice.
But Jon Favreau said that Dave Filoni always wanted to bring Ahsoka into live action, and they used The Mandalorian as a test to see if audiences would be interested.
Dope.
Which they clearly were, and they should be because Ahsoka's amazing. And I'm so glad that she's getting a show. And not only is she getting a show, but it's the follow-up to my favorite Star Wars animated TV series, which is Rebels. Rebels is just a great show. It's one of the best animated shows I've ever watched, period. Not just in Star Wars, just overall. It is a great show. So I'm excited about getting to see Ahsoka's story continue through there, because it was hinted at in The Mandalorian that she's after Thrawn. And the end of season 3 of Rebels, which was the end of the show, ended with Thrawn and Ezra disappearing and us not knowing where they've disappeared to. And so it'll be fun to watch Ahsoka and Sabine, who is one of my favorite Mandalorians, if not my favorite Mandalorian, go after Ezra and try to find him, but also go after Thrawn. And it'll be interesting to see who they cast as Thrawn.
Thrawn's pretty cool from what I've seen.
He's the blue dude, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
blue dude with red eyes.
Played by...
But not the other blue dude with red eyes?
Not the Western dude.
Thank you.
No, not Cad Bane.
Yeah.
The one who looks like a human, not
The
a
one who
bug.
dresses like Dave Filoni.
I think Thrawn's played by Lars Mikkelsen,
That sounds familiar.
Mads Mikkelsen's brother.
Okay. You know, Greg Weisman was a producer on Rebels, which makes sense because he makes
Explains a lot.
amazing TV shows.
He does.
He makes so
Him
many of
and
the
Dave
best.
Filoni, you put them together, and apparently it's just magic, because Rebels is my favorite Star Wars
His
animated
name,
show.
Greg.
But yeah, I love the first look image that they had at the panel, which is of Sabine, and it's literally, it looks like it's just the final shot of Rebels, but in live action.
Okay.
And I also love the fact that the art on the wall isn't like a realistic rendering of these characters. It's legitimately what they look like in Rebels.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering about that.
You look at it and you can see that the person standing in front of it is a real person.
Yeah.
But the artwork is like exactly what those characters look like on the TV show Rebels, which is fantastic to me because I love that show so much. And also Sabine is the one who does the artwork because Sabine is an artist.
Oh, cool.
That makes me so happy.
So this image is from Ahsoka.
Yes.
I was confused because when I clicked it and it opened, I saw this, like the art
piece
on the wall. I was like, is Ahsoka animated? Because I thought it was a person who was presenting standing in front of the first look image, which was the art. And I was like, I thought this was live action.
Nah, if you look
Now I get
closely,
it.
you can see Sabine is wearing her Mandalorian armor.
Yeah.
Which is a lot different from other Mandalorian armor because, like I said, she's an artist, so she has a tendency of painting her armor.
Makes sense.
It's really dope. That's why Sabine is one of my favorite Mandalorians, because she's just so different from all the rest of them.
And the actress playing her was in Day Shift.
She was. She's
was
also
Heather.
in The Greatest Showman, which I discovered last week.
The lady in Day Shift who was like, I was supposed to get close to you, the vampire saw me.
Oh, that lady? Okay.
No, we only
That
met
was
once.
part of the reason I was somewhat interested in seeing Day Shift, because I knew she was in it. And I was like, oh, you're going to be Sabine. I want to see how you act. I don't know.
And yeah, The Greatest Showman as well.
But yeah, that's Ahsoka, which I'm super looking forward to. Wish they had given us a trailer, but it's fine. I think it comes out next year. There's time. Next up is Skeleton Crew, which got a first look. The show stars Jude Law and it's run by John Watts. Jon Favreau said that he brought in John Watts after working with him on Spider-Man.
Is that what John Watts is doing instead of Fantastic Four?
Yes.
All right. I'm happy for him. Get that money, John.
We're doing Star Wars instead, and it's a TV series.
You said first look, and I just open it, and it's just Jude Law.
Jude Law. And a bunch of kids.
Jude Law.
Jude Law. And a bunch of kids behind him, because the show is a coming-of-age story.
I'm interested in that concept. If it's a bunch of kids on a ship trying to figure out how to run a ship and stuff with Jude Law, I'm interested.
I think that's probably what it's going to be. Maybe not trying to figure out how to run the ship, but it is.
Just the name Skeleton Crew makes me think.
Yeah.
Or they're all dead.
No, they're not all dead.
Or they work in a movie theater that is soon to be out of business.
Oh.
Lord Jesus. But Jude Law, I think, is the captain of the ship. And yeah, he's got a bunch of kids on board. So we'll see what that's about somewhere further down the line. Anyway, next up is The Mandalorian, which is coming. Season 3 is coming. 2023. The panel was attended by the cast: Pedro Pascal, Carl Weather, Giancarlo Esposito, Amy Sedaris, Emily Swallow, and Katie Sackhoff, as well as Rick Famuyiwa, Dave Filoni, and Jon Favreau. Rick Famuyiwa is now an executive producer for season 3, which is dope to me because I love Rick Famuyiwa.
He's great. He makes so many great things. I love him.
He's an incredible director. I loved Dope, and even better, like, he makes some of the best episodes of The Mandalorian.
Quick question. Was he one of the many in the revolving door of the Flash directors?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, that does sound right.
And now he's an executive producer on a Star Wars series, so good for him. The first trailer for The Mandalorian was released, and oh boy. Yeah, that trailer. So the first time I watched that trailer, I nearly started screaming in the middle of the street.
Wait, where were you?
If
you were
West
in, like,
Hollywood.
Oh, that would have been fine. I was
No,
saying
wait, maybe,
anywhere in
no,
like,
North Hollywood. Sorry, I think I was in North Hollywood.
anywhere in like LA, you'd be fine.
Yeah, North Hollywood people screaming in the street all the time.
Yeah. No,
Just go on the red line. Like,
the most exciting thing for me about this trailer is getting to see live action Mandalore, which is obviously the planet that the Mandalorians are from. We have seen Mandalore in the Clone Wars back when it was like in its peak, in its heyday, right before it kind of fell. And we've seen it in the Book of Boba Fett, I believe, where it was being destroyed. And so now getting to see what it looks like after all of that has happened. We've had hints that Mandalore has fallen. And I think in Rebels, they talk about the fall of Mandalore and its destruction. And now we get to finally see what it looks like. And man, seeing Bo-Katan back on that throne, in that throne room, and just seeing it so desolate and destroyed just excited me so much. And I'm hoping that this season gives me what I was super excited for when the show was announced in the first place, which is more Mandalorian lore, or, you know, Mando lore. I said Jedi are my favorite part of this, but the Mandalorians are my second favorite because it is a lore that is not anywhere else in any other sort of fiction. I really want them to dive into it because they've dived into it in the Clone Wars whenever those episodes were on Mandalore. And now I want them to kind of bring it back in live action because the Mandalorian is kind of a part of a Mandalorian death cult. He's not even really like following the actual ways of, well, he's more of an extremist. His clan of Mandalorians are extreme in their ways, and not all Mandalorians were like that. And that was kind of what led to the fall of Mandalore, was their difference of opinion and ideology. So it'll be fun. Hopefully Bo-Katan will explain to him in more detail that, like, yo, you've been a part of a death cult like your entire life. Yeah. This is what a real Mandalorian is.
Death cult.
Especially because she was a part of, I think she was part of the cult that spawned the death cult that he is in.
Goodness.
Because she used to be an extremist.
A lot
So
of cults.
it'll be fun. And plus there's the whole Darksaber situation going on where she wanted it, but now Din Djarin, aka the Mandalorian, is the one who has rightful possession of it, which means that he is now the ruler of Mandalore. It'll be interesting to see how they resolve that issue. But I really felt like season 2 kind of, like, the lore of the Mandalorian took a backseat to everything else that was going on in that season. So I'm really excited for season 3 it seems like it's diving way deep into Mandalorian lore. So can't wait to see that. That'll be fun for me.
Emily Swallow's in this show.
I love her. She's great. I love her on Castlevania.
I know her from Supernatural because at some point around the time I gave up on the show, she came in and she played God's sister.
Okay.
Yeah, aka the Darkness. She was good.
Fascinating.
Also, the best thing about her, well, they're not the best, but the funniest is that her Instagram handle is Biggie Swalls.
oh, that's good.
Big, the letter E, because Emily. Swalls with a Z.
That's fantastic.
Fantastic. Emily, I commend you.
That's hilarious.
Biggie Swalls.
Yeah, I love her from Castlevania, where she plays Lisa Tepes.
Wait, is that the wife?
Yes.
The one that gets fridge?
Dracula's wife. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was her.
Yeah, that's her.
Look at that.
While we were watching the trailer, you talked about the music,
Yes.
which, you know, Ludwig Göransson has been killing the score since the show started.
He always does.
It's true.
Always does.
He always says. Last thing for Lucasfilm, Indiana Jones 5. There was exclusive footage from that. I don't think I found a description for that. I didn't go looking, but I'm super excited about this movie. The panel was attended by director James Mangold, who did Logan. And
Didn't he do a car movie too?
He did Ford versus Ferrari.
Thank you.
yeah. And stars Harrison Ford and Phoebe Waller-Bridge also attended the panel. Mangold says that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg have both been involved, which is super important. And Harrison Ford got choked up about the fan reaction to the footage and says the movie is fantastic. He also confirmed that this will be his final outing as Indiana Jones.
This is it. I will not fall down for you again.
Given
Good.
how to say, given that people they get upset about things too much and have decided that the last Indiana Jones movie like doesn't exist. Like, was he super hype about that one?
I don't remember because it was so many years ago, but also before Crystal Skull came out, I didn't know much about Indiana Jones. So I just watched Indiana Jones, that entire trilogy, right before that movie came out. So I don't remember anything about promo for that movie at all.
Ah, okay.
Harrison Ford is 80 years old.
Yes.
Man, do not let this man do anything after this movie.
Why?
I mean, like nothing.
You mean like action movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like don't let him fall over.
Don't let him fly planes anymore either.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's what he does in his free time.
Also, James Mangold wrote Oliver and Company.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
I love that movie.
How you the range? He wrote Oliver and Company and he made Logan.
Listen, Oliver and Company is. Thank you, sir. That was one of my favorite Disney movies as a child.
Man, I didn't know that was. Well, he's one of the 3 writers, but yeah, it's crazy. He also did Girl Interrupted. I didn't know that either.
Oh wow.
He's been working.
He has been crazy, bro. That's that range right there. But no, I was saying that it's very important that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg have been involved, because I think the story goes that George Lucas legitimately didn't think that Star Wars was going to do well, so he skipped the red carpet to go on vacation with a bunch of friends. I think they went to Hawaii, and while they were on that trip, that is when he and Steven Spielberg came up with the concept of Indiana Jones.
Well, all right. Everything works out.
And there's also transcriptions that you can read of George Lucas and Steven Spielberg developing Indiana Jones. Both of them have been heavily involved in those movies throughout. So it's important that if you're going to finish off the franchise, because that's what they sound like they're doing.
This iteration of it? They're gonna do something.
I hope they don't reboot it. Like
you know they're gonna.
Respect Harrison Ford and his desire to never have anybody else play Indiana Jones again. You want to make a spinoff? Fine. But nobody else can play Indiana Jones but Harrison Ford.
It would be nice for them to respect that.
Especially not Chris Pratt. Don't do it. He already said he doesn't want it. But I think it's important that those two be involved. And John Williams, too, because he's been such a big part of the music and the iconic music that makes Indiana Jones. And we know that he's involved. We've talked about him recently on the podcast and his music for it. So, yeah, that's Indiana Jones. I'm super excited. They didn't reveal what the title's going to be. So, although some people are like, what if it's just Indiana Jones?
That feels like not really fun. Like, come on.
It works, though, because it's the final movie and none of them have...
I hate when movies do that, but in this case, I'm fine with it because, like you said, none of them are just called Indiana Jones.
Yeah. They're all Indiana Jones and...
Exactly.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing.
It's not fun.
This is like...
But it's kind of like Rocky Balboa. When they made Rocky Balboa, that's like the 5th or 6th Rocky movie.
It's the 6th Rocky movie.
Yeah. They already had Rocky 2. Although those titles were simple.
Yeah.
Rocky 2, Rocky 3.
I don't know. I just feel like it's more exciting if you have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom as opposed to just it's about the guy. Like, yeah, but what's he doing?
There is something to be said about
Christian
like
thing is he going to mess with now?
There is something to be said about just naming it Indiana Jones and having that be like the period on the statement.
Yeah, it's Indiana Jones.
But we don't know what the title is. They might make a long title. James Mangold might be like, no, I want mine to have the long title too.
Yeah, so. I would.
But yeah, next up, we're going to move on to the thing that's going to make this super long. Marvel Studios.
I'm alive.
Let's go.
I'm here. Colin is dying slowly.
Isn't he always?
Yes, but you know, I'm sorry, Colin.
I'm just like, we hadn't even gotten to Marvel yet.
I told you guys, 20 to 30 minutes of me talking about Star Wars. I think I did that. Actually, it wasn't even all Star Wars, but just Lucasfilm in general.
Sure.
I am a huge George Lucas fan. In fact, Rick Famuyiwa said that George Lucas was the reason he went to film school. And after I read that sentence, I paused and went, George Lucas is the reason I went to film school. So,
that's funny.
So, yeah. There we go. Disney was the reason I got into movies, but George Lucas was the reason I wanted to make movies. So
I do love me some Disney.
Yeah. So, getting into Marvel Studios, their portion of the panel was moderated by, I mean, who else would it be? Kevin Feige.
Kevin in his hat.
Of course. First up was Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Director Ryan Coogler and stars Angela Bassett, Letitia Wright, Winston Duke, and Tenoch Huerta attended the panel. Ryan Coogler says the movie is still being edited, which makes sense. Most movies are not done until like 2 days before the movie comes out anyway. Exclusive footage was shown, which I think I have an article for that.
Ooh.
As a matter of fact.
I can't wait.
So once again, thank you. Discussing film, we are just taking all this information from you guys, and we appreciate it. Marvel presented D23 Expo attendees with a whole scene from Black Panther Wakanda Forever that led into a new montage of footage. The scene sees Queen Ramonda face a council made up of world leaders who raise questions about why Wakanda hasn't shared their resources, primarily vibranium. The Queen replies that ever since King T'Challa died, his cause of death is still unknown. Everyone has been trying to get their hands on a piece of Wakanda's wealth, from politicians to mercenaries. At the same time as this meeting, we see Okoye and the Dora Milaje take down hired guns who are trying to steal vibranium from a secret facility. In a quick but killer action sequence, we find out that this event actually took place before, and Ramonda has the Dora Milaje bring in those same crooks into the meeting to set an example.
Hey, Kill him in front of everybody.
The rest of the montage
What, Colin?
reveals that this power grab for Wakanda's wealth is what accidentally reveals the presence of Namor and his kingdom to the world. More importantly, Namor's resources have now become a target for those looking to steal. This puts Namor up against the Queen, and we see M'Baku engage in a fight sequence with Namor when he
Ooh.
threatens her while negotiating on a beach. A lot of stuff that was already seen in the trailer was repeated but further extended, such as Namor's people preparing for war. The new money shot was the Black Panther falling from above and landing on her feet to face Namor face to face in some kind of possible throne room. The new Black Panther suit has a more defined gold threading that runs throughout the whole body from what was seen.
I love it.
I mean, I love everything about Black Panther, so you know.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
All of that sounds fantastic. Injected into my veins. Also, yeah, Colin, they should just kill him. That's how you set the example. You try to steal from me. Boom, 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 boom.
Or just cut off his
Make
hand.
sure all your kids don't grow. You could do that. I mean, they didn't work with Claw. Claw lost a hand and came back.
That's true.
You have to kill him like they did.
He lost like
Kill
a
him on
whole arm or
Dunga.
half an arm or something.
Yeah, see? And then when they killed him, he
Also,
stopped.
you shouldn't have taken his hand when his name was Claw. You just, like, come on.
True, like, what do you...
And that was part of the joke. They was like,
Exactly.
oh, your name is Claw, we taking your claw.
Like, oh, you gonna get a claw.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so it seems the world is trying to capitalize on Wakanda's resources while they're at their weakest. And according to Winston Duke, Wakanda is in a better technological place since Endgame. And Feige calls this movie the biggest thing they've ever done.
As it should be. Colin, you have
Me.
stated that Black Panther is the only good MCU movie.
I
He's
have.
wrong,
I
but
stand by
continue.
this.
Yeah, I also agree that you're wrong. But I think this is the closest you're going to be
To
too
interested.
excited in the Marvel section of this podcast. So say some things.
Yeah, I don't. The problem is, I also was hype on Black Panther before I lost my interest in the MCU, and so now it's just like,
Oh, yeah. I guess that would change things a bit.
yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't really care. I just
Colin.
like Namor's a fish
Colin.
guy. He'll do some fish things.
You
That's
love
cool,
fish
I
people.
guess. No, not necessarily. I'm not caping for Little Mermaid.
That's true. But he's... Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. I'm just saying, Colin,
I also just
you're coming off a little anti-black. And I
it
don't want to have to
feels
throw that at you again.
a little weird. This
Little
movie.
anti-brown too.
Right.
It's like,
oh, Colin.
This feels like a movie that I have to care about because Chadwick Boseman died,
Yeah, you do.
and I don't.
Colin,
I don't know what to tell
why
you.
do you hate the blacks? What did we do to you? I don't understand. Why you just come to this podcast and
You
say these
said
anti-black
say
things?
some things.
I didn't know that you
say
were
What to
racist.
say?
I thought you cared
Technically,
about black
you
people.
did know because you've called me anti-black multiple times on this podcast
I'm trying
before.
to remember. What were we talking about that you said if you're not interested?
Oh, I
It was
basically
this.
did it
Was
to
it Black
myself.
Panther?
It was Black Panther.
Yeah, I think I did it to myself.
God, Colin, you are doubling down on the racism.
Anti-blackness. And now
God.
we've got him on anti-brownness.
Right, like there's so many.
For the record, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't tell, we're joking.
I am not. Colin hates.
This is what happens when good friends run a podcast together.
Yeah, and one of them happens to be anti-black.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of black
I'm
people,
glad I don't want to be famous because I'm never gonna get to be.
Continuing talking about black people.
Yes, I mean,
Ironheart.
okay, cool. I didn't know if you had anything else to say about Black Panther.
I mean, listen, it's at this point in time, it's my most anticipated movie of this year for the rest of this year.
Yeah,
And
same.
I just think that Ryan Coogler, whenever he does these movies, whenever he does any movie, he just has like a lot to say, and he always puts them in his movies. And I think that comic book movies, not just comic book movies, like fantasy, sci-fi, those are my favorite places to put social messages because they're fun to watch, but also you get your statement across.
Yeah, and they're very accessible. Like most people are gonna see them.
Yes.
Like not everyone's gonna see the social commentary in If Bill Street Could Talk.
Yeah.
But you put it in a Marvel movie, people are gonna see it whether they want to or not. They might complain about it.
Like
see,
Colin.
The thing I
Right.
would wonder is, do they get it? Or do you go and you go, the superheroes shot some dudes and it was cool?
But the point is, at least Ryan Coogler's trying to get a message across. Now, if people don't
Yeah.
understand the message, I can't help you. I mean, I can try, but like, you know, I can only do so much.
And then you have the other side of things where people are like, it's too on the nose.
It's
We
too
get
woke."
it. Racism. And it's like, well, we need to make it clear so you get it.
When we did the recap for San Diego Comic-Con, I talked about how it seemed like there was a little bit of a storyline going where it's people in higher positions putting black and brown communities against each other. If you do that as just a drama, maybe not everybody will watch it. But you're doing it in a Black Panther movie, and suddenly you're on the worldwide stage and everybody suddenly is seeing your message.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. But continuing to talk about black people, we have Ryan Coogler executive producing the Ironheart TV series.
Love it.
There was exclusive footage shown for that. Anthony Ramos joined Ryan Coogler for the panel and is confirmed to be playing the Hood, a character who deals in dark magic. And the show will explore the battle between magic and tech for the first time in the MCU.
I dig it. I'm excited. Colin?
Yes?
I don't know how we're going to cure you of your anti-blackness, but what are your thoughts on Ironheart?
We're not going to.
I know nothing about it. I've never read her comics. Cool. I hope that she gets to be her own person and it doesn't turn into
Her just being Iron Man?
a really long homage to Tony Stark.
It's not. It can't be.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to...
Like, I don't know, because I did see people making the point that first shot of her in the Black Panther trailer is like mirroring his shot.
Yeah,
when
it's
he's
very
making the suit,
reminiscent of
blah,
that.
blah, blah. I just hope she gets to be her own person.
I mean, she will be, seeing as she's starting off in Wakanda forever. But the exclusive footage description, once again, thanks again, discussing film. Marvel surprised D23 Expo attendees with an early trailer for Ironheart. Ryan Coogler's influence is definitely felt in the footage as he's introducing Riri Williams first in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and also an executive producer on the series. We see the brilliance of Riri Williams early on with all the technology she has managed to build even before she goes to college. She has a supportive mom and friends, but those all come at risk when the Hood rises as a threat to her community. The Hood feels like he's in the right when fighting for the people, but takes things too far with his dark arts. We get a glimpse of his comic-accurate Hood costume and it translates to screen pretty well. Riri Williams must build a suit to beat the Hood, and it more or less doesn't look any different from what was already briefly seen in the Wakanda Forever trailer. I don't know if they showed her in that trailer, though.
Got you. I mean, it sounds like maybe they did.
Maybe they did. It's very huge and bulky, obviously homemade, though not cheap since Riri is a genius. There are visual parallels to when Tony Stark made his suits from the first Iron Man, with Riri striking metal from a hammer and molding her armor. The overall tone of Ironheart looks to be very nuanced with its themes of class and social disparity between the Hood and Riri. There was very little humor, and the few jokes that did come from Riri made her look more like a serious threat than anything.
I love it.
So do I, especially this, I was saying about Ryan Coogler, man, he always tries to get a message across, and themes of class and social disparity sound exactly like that.
I'm so excited. I also have not read any Ironheart comics.
I've read one, which was her first comic ever.
Nice. I'm very excited to see. I love Anthony Ramos. I think a character named the Hood is just really funny to me, with his story being so tied in, like, you know.
In the Hood?
Yeah, like, it's a story about classism and everything with the black protagonist, and they got to fight the Hood. It's just like, the jokes will write themselves. But I'm excited.
They already
to see it.
are.
Exactly. Oh, man, the Hood.
Yeah, I'm excited for when that finally hits Disney Plus. And I like the character. I've always liked the concept and character of Riri Williams. I've always liked the artwork for her, too, like, especially when she first came out.
Yeah, really dope.
Really dope art.
Designs.
Yeah, and I am interested in seeing how they weave Iron Man into her story. Because it's much easier in the comics. She comes across like a hologram of him, whatever, you know, that works. But like with Robert Downey Jr. no longer being involved in the MCU, it's like, how is that working? And also you've now tied her into Wakanda as well. So how important is that Iron Man connection that's established in the comic to the television series, to the character within the MCU, if it's important at all?
Especially with her being friends with Shuri, it looks like it probably won't be that important.
Maybe
because
not.
Shuri is also a genius, so you don't even need that tied to like another genius.
But like we said before, it's clear they're making visual homages to Iron Man.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just, well, that's how you film this, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see.
But it seems like it's an homage to Tony Stark.
Which I respect that.
Yeah.
He's dope. He started all this.
He did start all this. Continuing on, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. The panel was attended by stars Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and Jonathan Majors. The movie directly links with Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. Paul Rudd says it's unlike anything we've seen in the Ant-Man movies, with our small heroes doing something so big. Randall Park is set to return as Jimmy Woo.
Hey.
And there was exclusive footage that reveals Ant-Man has to do a heist in the quantum realm for Kang, or he won't get Cassie back, because apparently she's being held hostage. Let's get this exclusive footage description, shall we?
Yeah.
Scott Lang has faced a life of fame after saving the world in Avengers Endgame. He's written a book. He now takes out Jimmy Woo to expensive brunches. He even became the employee of all time at the Baskin-Robbins he used to work at.
Of course he did.
Some fans still mistake him for Spider-Man because of the bug name, but he's got a good life on the outside. At home, his ego has pushed away his daughter, Cassie, and his partner, Hope Van Dyne. In an attempt to reconnect, Cassie builds a machine that can send signals to the quantum realm. She did this so she could communicate with her father if he ever gets stuck again.
Nice.
That machine sucks the whole family, including Hank and Janet, back into the quantum realm. And the group comes across whole civilizations and colorful monsters that are all trying to kill them. Bill Murray is seen again as a leader of sorts in this realm, and MODOK makes a short appearance using his shoulder saw blades. Cassie is captured by Kang, and this is when we discover the heist plot of Scott needing to steal something back for Kang or else lose his daughter. He tells Kang that he's an Avenger, and Kang responds with, "An Avenger? Have I killed you before?" After a while, they all become a blur.
Go right. That is a line. I like it.
It's going to be fire.
I like it.
And you know Jonathan Majors probably
He's going to kill that delivery.
Yeah.
He's such a good actor. I love him so much.
I'm so interested to see what this version of Kang is going to be like. In my head, he sounds like He Who Remains.
Right.
But I know that's probably not what he's going to sound like.
There's no way they're going to do that. Yeah, it's going to be intense. You say Bill Murray?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
What's he doing?
A leader of something in the quantum realm?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They have societies in there.
Why not? Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know if you guys heard Colin laughing because he's immature. He's laughing at the idea of the family getting sucked. By
You know what made me start laughing, Dallas? It was your face.
What
when
did I do?
She said that.
I just looked up at you.
You got these really wide eyes like, okay. That's what made me start laughing.
Because I was like, I know that Colin is looking at me now. And I look up and there you were. We're the worst and the best. But yes, sucking aside, that sounds really dope.
Yeah, I'm really excited because the Ant-Man movies never really get much credit because they're smaller, more personal stories. And that doesn't make them worse than any of the Marvel movies.
No, they're really good.
Despite what other people might say. They're just not like these grand adventures that we usually get out of Marvel movies, which is what I've always appreciated about them. They're all just like really small family stories with personal stakes, and that's fine. This one definitely seems like it's a lot bigger than that, though.
Yeah, which is funny because they always just happen to come after the really big ones, like after Age of Ultron, after Infinity War.
And now this is the big one.
And now it's like, well, no, Kang is here. He's the guy. So I look forward to seeing it.
I'm excited. I like the Ant-Man movies. And I
They're
think,
so fun.
Personally, and I've said this before on the podcast, I think that the Ant-Man movies are the ones that are most consistent in their quality.
Interesting.
Within the solo series of the Marvel Universe?
I feel like they're definitely up there. I think it helps that they have two and like some of them
that's why I say
a little wonky.
That's why I say consistency.
Yeah.
Because like if you watch like Iron Man 1, that's amazing. Iron Man 2, not quite as great.
There's a little bit of a dip.
Yeah, Iron Man 3, also not quite as great, but better than Iron Man 2. And then you look at the Thor movies.
They're all over the place.
And then you look at Captain America, which gets better as they go along. But across the board, consistency-wise, I think Ant-Man is the one that's like, this is good. Oh, next one's good too.
Yeah. That's also how I feel about Guardians.
You know what? Guardians too. And
we'll see how they do with the third one. I'm sure it'll be good. But yeah, I think Ant-Man and Guardians are like, I really like the first one. I really like the second one. Boom, boom.
You can count on consistency over there.
I like it.
I'd feel that way about the Avengers movie, but Endgame exists. Anyway, Werewolf by Night. There was a trailer for Werewolf by Night, which up until now has been like a rumor that we've known is happening, like an open secret.
Right.
It's coming to Disney Plus on October 7th. Happy birthday to me.
Hey.
I never get anything on my birthday like this, and now I get a superhero show. It's fantastic. Directed by Michael Giacchino, who we love here.
Fantastic composer.
Yes, and now he's directing, and it's going to star Gael Garcia Bernal and Laura Donnelly, and all three of them attended the panel. There was a poster, and there is a trailer.
That is a dope poster.
It is a really cool poster. I like it.
Okay, so like Marvel always, well, not always, but they frequently be coming out and saying like, we've never done anything like this before. This is the first time I think that is actually apt. Like, that does not look like anything Marvel has ever done, and I'm interested in what it is like.
Now, hold on a second. Put some respect on WandaVision's name. Nothing else has been like WandaVision.
This is
the second time they've done that.
Yeah, because I was thinking of WandaVision while watching this, because WandaVision, I think, is so good at recreating a style.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of, the old sitcoms.
But they did it perfectly.
But I admire how well they did that style. And that's the same thing I feel with this really old retro looking horror thing. I don't really watch those movies. Obviously, I was born in 1992. We had other things by then. But they look like they captured the vibe perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm wondering is that going to be what it is? Like, is that the whole thing? Is it really going to be that vibe?
I think what they said at the panel was that it's going to have a black and white retro horror mystery vibe to it.
That's
so yeah, I think that is the vibe.
Yeah, okay. I am interested.
And also, I'm fascinated by the way that the trailer started out. It's a Marvel Studios special presentation. So I wonder if this means that going forward, we'll have other special presentations as well.
Oh, like one-offs?
Yeah.
That would be dope.
Kind of like when they used to do the old short films between Marvel movies.
I would love that.
But bigger and, more expensive and like an actual movie and not just like a TV series or something or a mini.
I think that would be awesome because with comic books, there are so many stories that you can adapt. And that's part of the reason that What If is one of my favorite things that they've done, because you can just tell all of these stories and you don't have to worry about like, this doesn't really follow the canon because in minute 48 of that movie that came out in 2018, you said this and now you're saying this and we don't, doesn't line up. So we can do little one-off stories. It's like, hey, just watch this, enjoy it. We can do whatever we want. Comic books are silly. Let's just vibe. I'm excited.
I am too. I think this looks really interesting. You know me, I'm not really a horror fan. However, I am very intrigued by this old school horror aesthetic that they have clearly gone for.
Yeah.
Which in this day and age, if you made like a really unironic sort of thing like that, people would think that it's silly. But I think that it's very cool that this is something that Marvel's trying to do. And I do think that Marvel is trying to branch out and do things a little bit more differently than they have before.
Yeah, I love it.
Like, yeah, there are still movies that still fall into the Marvel kind of... The MCU itself has like almost has its own tropes at this point. There are things that we come to expect from the MCU.
Yeah.
And I think like WandaVision managed to break that mold. This looks like it's definitely breaking that mold. I think Eternals tried to break it a little bit. In certain aspects, in certain ways that it was shot and done, and the way that it ends and things like that. So it does seem like Marvel is trying to, now that they've succeeded at their first saga with the Infinity Saga.
Right.
And now they're like, all right, gotcha now. We're just going to do whatever we want now. And,
which I love that. Do it.
Because we have all the money in the world.
Yes.
So we can. But please, 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 guys, treat your visual effects people better than you have been.
To me, they don't care.
We
they
want
are
them to.
people sitting in boardrooms
also,
making money.
She-Hulk. That's very different from anything they've done.
She-Hulk
That's
is a
100% comedy. Yeah, like She-Hulk is not anything like anything they've done.
Oh yeah.
Because they've always had jokes and
But
quips,
this is a sitcom.
But this show is a comedy. It's not an action show.
Yeah.
She's not really fighting people like that in terms of like that's what the story is about.
It's a workplace comedy.
This is a show about a lawyer who is just dealing with her life.
We got so much information on her dating life at this point. Probably more so than her being a superhero.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, cool.
She out here twerking with Meg the Stallion.
Right.
It's fantastic.
They're branching out.
It's
and
great.
I like that. Also, Giacchino is doing the music. Because,
is he?
Of course,
Good to
he
know.
has to be.
Can you imagine? What if he had gotten a different composer?
Yo, if he got a different composer, I'd be mad. I'm like, Michael, what are we doing?
Yeah, we were saying that we like the poster, though. And again, like the trailer, it really falls in line with that aesthetic that they're going for. And I like that they even, like, the poster itself has the bend in it to make it look like a bent up flyer.
Yeah.
It's so
That's
cool.
really dope.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
I also like that the character's name is Jack Russell, like the dog. That's just cute.
Yeah. And
but comic books are like that.
I'll be interested to see, because you were talking about like if you continue to do special presentations like this, it'll be interesting. Like, is Gael Garcia Bernal's character going to continue appearing in the MCU? Is that going to be a character that matters later down the line? Or is this simply just a one-off where we're just having fun and it takes place in the MCU, but it doesn't necessarily impact anything? It's just something for you to watch within that universe.
I think that's where the marketing of it all comes in, because I feel like if this comes out and it is universally loved, everybody loves it, they're going to bring him back. They'll be like, yo, we're going to find a way to work you in because people love you.
Yeah.
Like they're talking about, well, we don't have time to speculate on stuff that's not even on the list. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah. And Feige obviously has a plan. We know that Feige has a plan. He says he has a plan. And I believe him when he says it, unlike other people. So,
yeah.
So, next up, we have Secret Invasion. Oh, I'm so excited. They gave us a trailer, which I was hoping they would give us at San Diego Comic-Con, but I'm so glad that it's finally here. The series stars Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, Kobe Smulders, Olivia Colman, Emilia Clarke, and Kingsley Ben-Adir. Martin Freeman and Don Cheadle also feature on the show.
Hey.
Don Cheadle attended the panel for both Secret Invasion and Armor Wars. That trailer, which might be my favorite trailer to come out of D23.
Ooh.
Yes.
Interesting.
I just, oh my goodness. I've said it before. Secret Invasion was one of the first comic series I ever read that got me into comic books. It's one of my favorites. I actually started rereading it last night. It's so good. And just the tone of this show, if this was not a Marvel show, would still be really intriguing. Like,
Okay.
like this doesn't even necessarily have to be a Marvel show.
Right.
Like if there weren't Skrulls in it, it would just seem like you're really cool espionage.
Yeah, something wild is happening.
Like political thriller. That's exciting. And it's got kind of like the tone of like The Winter Soldier, which was an espionage thriller. And I'm just really intrigued by that, especially for Secret Invasion. And it's focusing in on Nick Fury, who we have not seen we've seen
do
him
anything recently.
but we haven't seen him doing things. And we know that he's been off in space doing something. And now we finally get to know what he's been up to. It's also really interesting because there's like, it looks like there are no superheroes in this show. It is our federal agents on the outside who are doing things.
That worries me. Only because, like, I think there was something we said earlier, either in this episode or the last one, about, might not even been on mic, about fan expectation.
Yes, that was not on mic.
And how unhinged they get. Secret Invasion is such a big story.
It is.
Like, you honestly could have done, it could have been one of the phases. Like, you know, or one of the, like, Infinity Saga, Multiverse Saga. Like,
I thought
Secret
it was going to
Invasion,
be one.
Right. It's such a huge story. Obviously, you have more time with the show than a movie. But I just know that people are going to, well, this thing's not in it. And what happened? Hey, we didn't do the thing. Huh, where's this? And then they're going to rile themselves up. Mephisto, where's Mephisto? And then, like, hey, we never said that was happening. And they were like, hey, this didn't happen. We're mad at you. Which, like I said earlier, put your tears in the bottle, spit them out like Triple H. Go ahead and cry. But there's just, like, the potential for just, like, where you can go versus where you're going to go. I wonder where we're going to go.
This is the show that I've been most looking forward to, though, because I do love the comic so much.
And it does look very good.
It looks like a great show.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be really intriguing, really entertaining. I am prepared to be back in my Emilia Clarke era. Dear God, let's go.
Oh, boy.
She looks amazing in this trailer, and you gave her a gun.
The guns do something for you?
In televisions and movies, yeah.
Okay.
That's its own splash zone entirely.
I'm hanging out with Chaz too much.
I'm so excited to see who Emilia Clarke is playing because she's barely in this trailer, but they've been keeping under wraps what she's going to be doing on the show. There are plenty of theories about who she might be playing. I'm not going to say them, but I'm down for the main one that's been going around.
Okay. Is it Mephisto?
No, it's not Mephisto. This paranoia that they've got going on in the trailer. When we were watching it, Colin mentioned how, like, Fury doesn't tell people anything.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, in this situation, if you think aliens have taken over everybody's bodies, there's nobody that you can trust to tell people things to.
Listen, sometimes you have to tell people that you're going to go on a suicide mission to destroy the big Star Destroyer. That's all I'm saying. Tell people things. Like,
yeah, but like she just said, what if the person you tell is actually not the person that you think you're talking to?
Like, Talos is the only person he can trust.
Also, yeah, he but like he came in contact with the Skrulls in the 90s. I'd be surprised if he told anyone anything for 30 years. Like, no wonder this nigga don't trust anybody. And the one person he did trust was Robert Redford in Winter Soldier. He turned out to be a villain.
This is why Fury doesn't trust people.
Exactly. He
Except
can't trust nobody.
for his surrogate daughters who keep popping up in different projects with him. So, Maria Hill, Carol Danvers, Natasha Romanoff. Just those three. That's it. Trust no one else.
Also, I love Ben Mendelsohn. He's a great actor. He has a fantastic voice. Like, I think he has one line in this trailer. But the way that does he?
I think so.
I know he says we have to be very careful here.
Yeah, and then he has the toward the end, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But like his line delivery is always so great. I obviously noticed it, but I think I really noticed it when he started doing voice acting because he was in that Will Smith Tom Holland movie and he was the villain and I was like, yo, this dude's voice is fantastic. I love it.
It's also interesting because Talos in Captain Marvel is kind of a more comedic character once we get to like the second half of the film.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see him this is a very serious show. This seems like a very serious show, which you were talking about fan expectation. People who have been watching the trailer have been like, oh, finally Marvel's doing something serious again, which like, guys, please chill out. Like Marvel ain't out here making comedies. Like, yeah,
except for She-Hulk, yeah.
There are some jokes, but like She-Hulk, Love and Thunder, not everything in Phase 4 has been a comedy.
Right.
Eternals and Black Widow freaking exist. But like a lot of people seem very excited for what the tone of this show is and what it's going to be. This is probably my favorite trailer because it's the most intriguing and it leaves you with the most questions as to what's going to happen and what's even happening in this trailer. Because I don't think this trailer even really tells you what's going on. Also, one of my favorite things is that it starts off with that like big light beam and then it looks like there's an alien in there, but then it's Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I see what you guys are doing.
I like
That's
it.
very, very iconic alien imagery.
Yeah.
Close encounters and things like that.
Invaders of the Body Snatchers is what we're looking at kind of here. I'm excited. I've been excited.
Okay. Do we have anything we can really say about Armor Wars?
Right now, all we know is that Armor Wars is going to be set after Secret Invasion, and it begins filming next year. And obviously, Don Cheadle is starring in it because he's Rhodey. He's War Machine, and we don't have any other Iron people yet.
Until they bring Terrence Howard back.
Okay.
For that bag.
That's that multiverse.
Yo, if we get a multiverse version of Rhodey and they bring Terrence Howard back, that will be amazing.
It'd be hilarious. But yeah, there's not really much more to say about Armor Wars, except that I think there's a general idea of what the show is about, which is obviously people trying to get control over Tony Stark's armor tech.
Right.
Yeah, which
they always are.
Rhodey's going to have to deal with.
He will.
Yeah, moving on. Loki Season 2. Tom Hiddleston attended the panel with Sophie DiMartino and Owen Wilson. Ke Huy Quan, who is also at the panel, he joins the cast as a TVA employee. And there was exclusive footage that was shown there, which included more action from Jonathan Majors as Kang. I'm going to read to you guys that description because let's do it. The God of Mischief finds himself back at the TVA, though he hasn't been the same since the events of the first season finale. This is meant quite literally, as Loki is now glitching in time since he finds himself in an altered timeline where he doesn't belong. He literally glitches in and out, going fast forward or reverse in his current time. Loki pleads to Mobius and Hunter B-15, who don't know this version of him, by using the TVA's own time sticks against the office walls, and they disintegrate to reveal architecture with Kang's face all over. Even though Kang and Sylvie were nowhere to be found in the footage, we did get a glimpse of Ke Huy Quan's new character, who appears to be some sort of time librarian who works at the TVA. The library archive of sorts is expansive and looks like something out of Terry Gilliam's Brazil.
Oh, God.
Key's character floats down in a goofy manner to assist Loki at the help desk. In the sizzle, we see Loki travel across distant timelines and galaxies and get caught up in more colorful tasks as he tries to make everyone around him aware of Kang and his looming power. Loki is the only one that knows Kang as a growing threat, and the season will act as a warning of what's to come for the rest of the multiverse saga. Miss Minutes is mentioned in passing by Loki, though not seen, but that means there's probably more of her coming if that wasn't already obvious.
Give me my Tara Strong back, and we are all good
to go.
It's been said on this podcast, Loki's not my favorite. It's not your favorite either.
It was Colin's favorite. Colin should talk about it.
Oh, Colin liked the thing?
Colin liked that thing.
Colin, you like that thing?
From what I remember, I liked it up until a point.
He didn't like the last episode, which was our favorite episode.
Okay, so you like most of it.
I liked what it set up, what it was going to be, and then it became something else.
Okay.
And so now I'm less interested, but...
Oh, yeah, it's definitely not going to be what it was in season 1.
Yeah.
Thank God. It was all right the first time, but, you know. I like the concept and the idea of Loki having to be the person to be like, the boy who cried wolf.
Right.
Like, guys, here's this big bad that's coming, and nobody believing him. And him, like, having to try and convince people that Kang the Conqueror is going to be...
Mm-hmm.
this awful person and this evil that's going to destroy our universe.
Yeah.
Well, our multiverse.
I will give it a shot. I like the first season enough to keep trying, especially, you know, once it picked up toward the end, I was like, oh, this is really good.
And Jonathan Majors is going to be in it. So
Jonathan Majors.
And so is Rafael Casal.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
That's amazing. I love Rafael Casal. Now I'm excited.
We're here for Rafa.
Now I'm excited.
It's not even that I disliked the first season of Loki. It just didn't pique my interest as much as other Disney Plus series have done thus far.
Same.
And I'm probably going to do a rewatch of it to see if my opinion changes any now that I know what I'm getting into.
It could. I do rewatches for all my shows because I forget everything that happens in all of them.
I already don't remember what happened in those first 5 episodes of Loki. I remember what happened in that 6th episode, though.
Right. So, yeah, rewatch would.
I remember He Who Remains very well.
I'm here for Raphael.
As you can see, me and Dallas are not like Loki fangirls.
No.
Well, no, we are not. Anyway, Fantastic Four. There was no news except that Matt Shankman is set to direct. Moving forward, Echo. The show stars Alakwa Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, Devery Jacobs, Cody Lightning, Chaske Spencer, and Graham Greene, who all attended the panel. Filming for the show has wrapped. Obviously, D'Onofrio is returning as Kingpin, and there was exclusive footage that was shown. We see the titular character get back in touch with her tribe, which boasts other fearsome warriors. She may already be a fierce killer, however, she needs to undergo the teachings of her ancestors in order to conquer a new threat to her world. The series is undoubtedly one of the most unique from the current MCU slate, as it looks to be a grimy action thriller more in line with John Wick than any other superhero project.
Yo.
Echo flaunts intense action. It wears its native inspirations on its sleeve with pride. It doesn't seem to be deeply connected to the rest of the MCU, besides the fact that Wilson Fisk makes an ungracious return. The final moments of the footage reunites Maya Lopez with the Kingpin, except this time he's wearing a large eye patch and is healing from his wound of being shot in the head.
Shot this nigga at point blank range.
Yes.
In the face.
In the face. Although he doesn't approach Maya with hate. Instead, he comes up to her in a somber manner, and it appears as if he's ready to talk or have a different kind of conversation that doesn't involve murder. Daredevil / Matt Murdock is confirmed to also make an appearance in the show, but was absent from the footage.
I am a lot more excited than I used to be. I like Echo. I was actually introduced to Echo in a book. Look at me
Yes, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, I was reading a Spider-Man video game prequel novel, which, what a world we live in. And Echo's in it. And Kingpin is the main villain, and Echo is his kind of surrogate daughter, like in the show. Devery Jacobs, I love her. She's fantastic. I really like Kingpin.
I really thought Alakwa did a great job on Hawkeye. I thought she was very intriguing, very interesting, which is why I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to check out the show. Hearing that there's some John Wick type action up in here.
Yo, I'm excited.
Let's do it.
Also, Cody Lightning might be the dopest actor name I've ever heard in my life. That's up there. There are a couple that I'm like, yo, that's a really dope.
Storm Reed, Finn Wolfhard.
You got the same list I got. I was like, Cody Lightning? That's an amazing name.
That's on the list now.
Shout out to all the indigenous actors. They always have the Dallas Goldtooth.
Yeah.
Like, bro, how are you not a rapper? Anyway, Cody Lightning, fantastic. Also, apparently he was in Brick. He played the Lug.
Brick as in Ryan Johnson's
Brick, yeah.
Brick? Oh my gosh, I need to rewatch that movie. It's been a long time.
It's been a while. But yeah, shout out to Cody Lightning and everyone else. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I love the indigenous representation because I wasn't quite sure what the show was going to be doing, but now that there's so many indigenous actors, it's like, oh, that's so cool that they're, actually going to go dive into her roots.
And I love that we're getting a lot more of that in media lately.
Yes.
Res Dogs, Prey. It's like extra disrespectful for this to be the demographic that's been ignored in a lot of media.
Yeah.
Considering they were here first. Like, fam, everywhere we live was theirs. Well, yeah, we live in what used to be Mexico, but still,
No, but there were still indigenous people here first.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Like, come on, fam. Let's give them some representation. But it sounds like we are now, and I love it.
Like I said earlier, I like the superhero shows and movies are a great way of putting this type of representation or putting these types of stories on the world stage.
Yeah, woke propaganda. I'm here for it. Let's get woke. Colin, you ready? Ready to get woke? Are you woke, Colin?
He's not awake.
Are you part of the woke mob, Colin?
I guess I am, technically.
Are you a liberal snowflake, Colin?
Yes,
I think I'm
that I definitely
all
am.
the buzzwords.
Yeah.
I'm running out.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
We're here for the propaganda. The gay agenda.
All of that. The agenda. I forgot about the agenda.
Yeah.
Shout out to the gay agenda.
We're here for all of it.
All of it.
The end of that mentioned that Daredevil is making an appearance on Echo. And not only is he making an appearance on Echo, he's going to have his own show, Daredevil Born Again.
I'm so excited.
The show stars Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, who attended the panel. They begin filming their 18 episodes in 2023. Charlie Cox is excited to get started again with double the amount of time that he had last time to do Netflix's Daredevil. Obviously, they didn't have any footage to show because
they haven't started
filming it. Instead, what they did was they showed a clip of Daredevil's appearance in She-Hulk.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, we're not gonna describe that because that's probably coming up real soon.
We're about to see it
and
soon.
We watch She-Hulk. So.
I don't know that it can top the twerking scene, but hey,
Will any scene in the MCU ever top the twerking scene? Let's be honest here.
I feel like now I gotta put the MCU up there with Pixar on like, hey, we know you guys are gonna get weird, so let's just throw some fuel on the fire.
Only on She-Hulk,
You want to see She-Hulk throw ass? Now you don't have to go to the internet for it.
It's right here.
It's canon.
We CGI'd it for you.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness.
People are weird. But Daredevil, Born Again, I'm so excited. Daredevil is my favorite of those shows that they were doing on Netflix and then canceled all of them one by one to hurt me.
But he's back now.
He's back. I'm so happy. We can talk about Luke Cage afterward because I need that too. But, you know, I'm just going to accept this
I
right
would
now.
like.
You say all of them,
I
but
was
then you
gonna
thought
say-
about Iron Fist?
Here's the thing. I want Colleen Wing back from Iron Fist. Jessica Henwick deserves a second chance.
I would take Iron Fist back only because his cameo in Luke Cage
Was great.
was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
And that tells me that they know how to make this character likable and how to make him work.
Yeah.
Also, I really like Defenders. Nobody else likes Defenders.
I like Defenders.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we're vibing on that because everyone's
Dallas,
like, Defenders wasn't good.
We tend to vibe on the comic book movies.
But yeah, I really like Defenders, and just that whole team up was fantastic. And I want to be able to do that again.
I want Elektra back too. So
Elektra was dope. Daredevil, he's great. Charlie Cox, fantastic. Vincent D'Onofrio, amazing. He killed a man with a car door. That's
I don't know
insane.
if that's going to be canon anymore, but hey.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. It's insane. Also, what is the old woman's name?
Madam
know.
Gao?
Yes. I want her to come back.
She's great.
Yeah.
I've said it before, but I want Deborah Ann Woll to come back as well. Can we get those casting announcements soon since you guys are filming next year? What's happening? What's
Who we
up?
got?
Are they
Is Foggy
coming back? Yeah.
Give me Foggy back.
Anyway, Captain America, New World Order. Speaking of characters who are coming back, the movie stars Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson, Captain America, let's go.
Woke propaganda.
Yes. We're also getting Danny Ramirez, Carl Lumbly, Shira Haas, and Tim Blake Nelson. And it's directed by Julius Onaya. I think that's how that was pronounced.
I think that's how it was.
Yeah, sure. And they all appeared at the panel. Tim Blake Nelson is returning as the leader for the first time since The Incredible Hulk. He will be the main villain of the film.
Wild.
Carl Lumbly is returning as Isaiah Bradley, aka he's the second ever Captain America, I believe, in this universe.
Okay.
And then we have Danny Ramirez, who is returning this time as Falcon. And Shira Haas joins the cast as Israeli hero Sabra. Julius Onaya described the film as a paranoid thriller.
Interesting choice of words.
I mean, it works. It's a Captain America movie. They work best when they're thrillers.
Just the paranoid, like, what's happening?
I don't know much about the leader, so I would assume it has something to do with what he does.
You know what? I've read a few comics with the leader in it.
Okay.
And also, I am so shocked that they reached into the Incredible Hulk basket and pulled Tim Blake Nelson out.
Yo, they're pulling from the Hulk a lot more often recently. When is Liv Tyler coming back as Betty Brant?
Yeah, they brought
Betty Brant.
Abomination back.
Why am I? No, Betty Ross.
Wait, who's Betty Brant?
Betty Brant is a Spider-Man.
Got it.
Betty Ross is who I'm thinking
Too many
of.
Bettys.
Man, the old days. So many.
Everybody was named Betty. Betty and Peggy.
Betty, James, Peggy, all that.
I'm sad that what's his name? He played Ross.
Oh,
passed away.
William Hurt.
William Hurt. I'm so sad that he passed away.
It feels like there was so much they could have done with Red Hulk coming up.
And I'm mad that they never did anything with Red Hulk, considering they had him from the jump.
Well, with
wait.
the things that are coming up, it feels like there might have been a plan to.
Honestly, yeah, you're bringing back everybody else. But I think Betty becomes Red She-Hulk in the comic.
Yo, bring Liv Tyler back. What are we doing,
Bring Liv
fam?
Tyler back and have her twerk with Tatiana
Gosh.
Maslany.
I had to sit through a bad Bruce and Natasha love story when Betty's right there.
Betty's somewhere. I don't know if she's right there.
That she's available, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm so excited to
Cap
just bask in
forward.
the white tears that we're gonna get. I can't wait.
Like when Falcon and the Winter Soldier came out.
Yeah, but it's gonna be so much worse because this one's called Captain America. Like, it's a Captain America movie.
And it's called New World Order on top of that.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're gonna be so mad. I can't wait. Wait.
Also, it's written by the guy who did Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, makes sense. Keep it tonally consistent. What I was gonna say is that the leader is in the version of Thunderbolts that I used to read.
Oh, cool.
Yes. So I know a little bit about him from that.
He's not in the version that I used to read.
No. But speaking of that version, well, not that version, but speaking of a different version.
A different version. Guys, I won. I won because I'm getting a Thunderbolts movie. And I think it's being specifically made for me.
I think it is.
I think it's specifically made for me. So the movie is going to star Sebastian Stan, Florence Pugh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Hannah John Kamen, Wyatt Russell, Olga Kurylenko, and David Harbour. They are all set to return. So that means that the Thunderbolts team consists of Yelena Belova, Red Guardian, Ghost, Taskmaster, U.S. Agent, the Winter Soldier, and Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
What a name.
It's wonderful, isn't it? So the director, Jake Schreier, and the entire cast appeared at the panel except Olga Kurylenko and Florence Pugh, who sent a virtual message from filming Dune 2. At the end of the panel, Kevin Feige had to say.
Well, I think it tells you all you need to know about the Thunderbolts when beloved Winter Soldier is the most stable among them.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I love it.
It's gonna be a ride.
They begin filming early 2023. Guys, I nearly cried when I saw this. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm the core audience of this movie.
Yes.
They made this for me. The lineup is basically Black Widow 2 with one of my favorite antagonists and a few other people. And you know what?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's just Black Widow 2, but a couple of other people involved. And it's got Ghost, who I've been dying to have back in the MCU since she appeared in 2018 because she's played by Hannah John Kamen, who I think is incredibly talented actress. And it is time for me to be back on my Ava Star is not a villain agenda once more.
Oh, boy.
I am so happy right now. I think this is the happiest I was to see any of the news because...
That makes sense.
Because I remember doing that PowerPoint and saying,
yes.
I want a Thunderbolts movie. And going through the list of people who I wanted to be in it.
Are you one of the people that ships Ghost and Bucky?
Yes.
That was you.
And now they're going to be in a movie together.
So now it's not going to be as random.
My rare pair is coming, guys.
That's insane.
It may not be canon, but...
Yeah, somebody knows you personally.
And said, we're going to make that movie.
Like, the things you've said.
Is this
if
movie.
You just took them and made a movie out of it, that's this. So, like, I don't know.
Somebody said we're going to put Hannah John Kamen and Florence Pugh in a movie together.
Yeah, you and Gabby were taken care of.
Guys, I won.
I see this as an absolute win.
Contessa is a old girl from Seinfeld, right?
Yes.
So she like the leader?
Yeah.
She doesn't.
She's like the Nick Fury of the
okay, because she doesn't look like she throw hands like that.
That we know of.
I mean, if Elaine gonna start scrapping, I'm with it.
In the comic book, she's Nick Fury's girlfriend.
What?
Yeah. The Contessa.
Contessa with her pasta ass name?
Yeah, she's a love interest for Nick Fury. She's
dope.
Kind of a double crosser. She's in Secret Invasion comics, actually, as a matter of fact. So, highly recommend.
All right, Miss Olive Garden, I see you.
Guys.
Colin, tell me her name don't look like you're reading a menu at Buca de Beppo. Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
It's a name. Like, it's
the most Italian name you've ever seen.
Well, no, but...
What's the most Italian name you've seen?
I mean, I'm sure I've seen more Italian names than that. That's just a name.
Okay, so
Johnny Gabagool.
But he's never seen that name. He's just heard you say it.
I think of like, what is his name? Tony Ravioli more, just because it sounds like ravioli.
Tony Ravioli, yeah.
Oh my goodness. But anyway.
I am happy for you.
Thank you.
For so many reasons. I'm happy for Gabby for 2 reasons.
Which we already mentioned.
Yes. I really hope that they do something with Taskmaster that makes me like the character. One of my least favorite things that they've done recently is the way they handle Taskmaster. And that's not something most people care about. Because nobody cares about Taskmaster.
It's actually a lot.
Well, okay.
I'm actually annoyed with how often I see people talk about that.
That's a vocal minority.
Okay.
But I don't think it's a lot of people. I think it's a few people who are very, very loud.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, Ghost didn't get this type of energy because they did the same thing with Ghost, sort of.
Yeah, it's a different way of like changing up the character. Taskmaster is not a character now, and I think that's the problem. Is that Taskmaster is a weapon.
Yes.
And Taskmaster should be a character.
Yes.
Ghost at least gets to be a person.
Yeah, she was both a weapon and a character.
Yeah. She's like a person who's used as a weapon, but Taskmaster is literally just a weapon.
Yeah.
Like, if they never took the mask off and showed a person under there,
doesn't matter.
It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
They could be a robot.
Yeah. But I think, so I'm excited because I've seen a lot of people complain that there's like 2 similar power sets going on in this team.
I saw that too.
I think what's more important to me is the fact that when you put these people together, their personalities and their histories are so fascinating to put together. You've got 3 different women on this team who were children who were taken and made into spies and assassins. Those same 3 characters plus Bucky Barnes who were brainwashed and indoctrinated into being assassins and killers. You've got Yelena and Alexei who have got their demented father-daughter relationship. You've got U.S. Agent and Bucky who are both U.S. Agent Bucky Barnes and Alexei who are all super soldiers and have taken some form of the serum. Like, it's just this really odd bunch of characters who have very similar backstories and very similar histories, and them coming into contact with one another seems so fascinating to me because what happens?
I want to see one of those giant like Venn diagrams of like, okay, crazy Russian person over here, uses shield over here, big strong white dude over here.
3 people on the team use shields.
There's so many shields. This is a lot of overlap. And then, we need therapy. Just a circle with everybody.
And it's so interesting to me because I'm like, when they get into contact with each other, that's gotta be like a fascinating like character interactions, which is far more important to me than whatever power set we've got going. Ghost is gonna be walking through walls anyways. It's fine.
I am gonna need y'all to tell me how Pasta Fajoule convinces Bucky to work with
the Thunderbolts.
No, well, not them.
Oh,
but
with U.S. Agent.
Yes. Because I feel like that is something he would not be willing to do.
U.S. Agent, even though they didn't get along at the end of the show, U.S. Agent does try to be a good guy at the end of that show.
Yeah, after he cuts that dude's head off with the shield, he's right back on track.
He tries. But also, to your Taskmaster points, I think that this is the point where, yes, you can do something really interesting with that character. Because now we're coming to see her, 6 years after the events of Black Widow. Okay. So by this point, she's definitely had to have developed a personality. She's definitely developed... it'll be interesting to see who she is as a person outside of being brainwashed. Mm-hmm. I feel similarly about Ghost, because Ghost was a very interesting character who kind of got bogged down underneath the story of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. And I think Ghost is a super interesting character, and it'll be really, really interesting to see her interact with other people. Mm. She's one of my favorite antagonists. I've thought a lot about why she does the things that she does, and I don't quite know how she would handle a social setting. Because she's never interacted with people as people. She's interacted with SHIELD agents telling her what to do and training her to be an assassin, but she's never really been a person. I'm interested to see how that works out. And the same thing with Yelena. She grew up as an assassin, but she's got a really big personality.
Yeah. She is not well adjusted, but
she's definitely not well adjusted.
She's almost the way she talks to, what's her name?
Kate.
Little Hawkeye. Kate. It's almost like, why are you so normal?
Well, by that point, I think it's been 6 years for her, too.
Okay, yeah, but maybe 6 years is the magic number.
Because Black Widow takes place in 2016.
Got it.
Hawkeye takes place in 2023. So it's been 7 years, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what they do. That's the movie for Demi.
Guys, I got my ghost back. I got my ghost back. That's all I wanted. Really, that's all I wanted. I am surprised that Baron Zemo isn't in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also the possibility that maybe there are more members of the team that they haven't announced yet.
That'd be cool.
Marvel doesn't have to show all their cards at one time.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they do this, because this is essentially Marvel's Suicide Squad.
Yeah, sort of. Sometimes they're not.
I mean, not literally. They're not going to put bombs in their neck.
No. But I think a lot of people automatically assume that Thunderbolts is just villains who have to do hero work, which it's not always villains doing hero work.
Sure, they do change it up. The run I read was mostly anti-heroes.
And the run that's currently going is mostly superheroes.
Is there a current Thunderbolts?
I think so.
Oh.
So there's 3 different heroes on the Thunderbolts team. So I've seen people complain that they're like, Bucky's a hero, he's not a villain. Oh my gosh. It's
yeah, they don't have to be villains.
Thunderbolts don't have to be villains.
Right.
The Winter Soldier has run the Thunderbolts in the comics before. This isn't a weird thing.
Yeah. Also, he kills a lot of people, so just throw him on the team.
I'm so excited, dude. I cannot. Don't be surprised when this is in my top 3 most anticipated movies next year when we're talking about movies coming in 2024.
I'd be surprised if it's number 3.
It depends on what's coming out in 2024. We're going to have to wait and find out. Depends on how does Across the Spider-Verse go.
Spider-Verse. It's going to be fantastic. We
exactly. See, that could take it. That's why I said top 3. Finally, our final movie of the day.
Nigga, we made it.
We did. The Marvels.
The Marvels.
Oh my goodness. Brie Larson, Iman Vellani, and Tiana Paris star in the film and all appeared at the panel with director Nia DaCosta. There was exclusive footage shown because that's what Marvel apparently wanted to do that day.
Yeah.
The energy they were giving. Give us nothing, girl. We love it. We love
us nothing, girl.
We love to see it.
I guess I don't understand why this is Give Us Nothing when this is what happens at Comic-Con all the time.
Do you mean have to for give the Marvel specifically or just Marvel in general?
Well, I guess the idea of if you're going to a convention, we want to make it worth your while so you get to see something no one else gets to see. Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Just what happens.
I agree with you. I just like the joke. I absolutely just like the joke. Anyway, the exclusive footage description. The footage was set to Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys.
Love it.
And basically explain the core conflict of the 3 heroes trading places with each other. It's now confirmed this is the explanation for the post-credits scene in Ms. Marvel. We see Monica Rambeau try to use her new phasing powers while working on a space station in an astronaut suit, and she is switched out for Kamala Khan, who then makes a fool out of herself in front of Nick Fury. Other switches that occur are Carol Danvers appearing in Kamala's home and the Khan family freaking out. Kamala gets teleported into space and freaks out when she appears next to Goose, who then eats a bunch of bad guys with its flirkin tentacle mouth. The three girls come together with the help of Nick Fury and show off their powers to each other. Kamala tries her best not to geek out over meeting her heroes throughout, but always ends up embarrassing herself. This dilemma takes the Marvels on a cosmic road trip with Carol driving them in a new spaceship. We see what looks like a musical number on an alien planet, and the three leads all get put through kooky scenarios that are better suited for one of the others. Other huge takeaways from the footage include a more comic-accurate white and blue costume for Monica Rambeau. Her powers also seem to have a slightly different visual effect than what was seen in WandaVision, since she seems to have learned how to control them more. Kamala seems to be filling the role of comedic relief, while the others learn how to kindly tolerate her uncontrollable youthful spirit.
Aww.
The teaser ends with Kamala asking, "Wait, so does that mean we're a team?" And the others quickly replying, "No," in a funny way.
Jeez.
The Marvels definitely has a strong comedic tone, the most from what Marvel showed at D23 Expo this year. Listen, I'm excited off the strength of just it being Carol and Kamala and Monica. But yeah, it appears the film focuses on Carol, Kamala, and Monica as they keep trading places with one another whenever they use their powers, causing them to team up to fix it.
That's interesting. And I'm very glad that we got an explanation for what the hell that was at the end of Miss Marvel's like, why is she here?
You're like, why did they switch places? What's going on?
Who was this white girl you got in their house? Nia DaCosta, I'm here for it.
I am too.
Ever since I saw Candyman.
Ever since I saw
was
Little
like,
Woods.
yo, I'm here for the Marvels because Nia is directing it. I have faith. Miss Marvel was kind of hit and miss for me, the TV show, but I really do like the character. And I feel like as a supporting role, not to say that, the other two are the main ones, but as kind of like a team, a unit.
Yeah. As a group, as an ensemble.
Yeah. A corner of the triangle. I like it. I think it's going to work. Also, Tiana Paris is really dope.
I love Tiana Paris.
She's great every time.
She brings the right energy everywhere she goes. Like, remember when Agatha All Along, the remix came out and she posted that video to her Instagram? Yeah.
She's great.
And then even like her appearing on stage and like answering questions for the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Just the right energy. Love to see it.
She did it.
Love the flavor.
Colin, did you watch Miss Marvel? Or did you not?
No, I did not.
Colin, you would like it, I think.
You actually
This is the thing I think you would like.
would like it.
It is so your vibe.
It'll go on the list of things I'll never watch.
Put it on the 10-minute list.
I'm going to put it on the 10-minute list.
Thank you.
And Colin's be like, oh.
Don't put it on the 10-minute list.
Why?
Because I watched the 10 minutes and I assume I'm never going to watch it again because I'm only watching 10 minutes.
Just watch it more if you like it.
Well, no, it's a 10-minute thing.
No, we talked about this, Colin.
Yeah, but it's...
We can talk about it more off mic.
We did this already.
Anyway, so me and you were both excited for Nia DaCosta's directing for two different reasons.
Right.
You're excited for Candyman. I'm excited because of Little Woods, which I thought was amazing.
And we support black women.
We do. Exactly.
Colin, do you support black women?
Do you?
I do.
Okay. Are you excited for this movie?
Not really.
Are you sure you support black women?
Don't really line
okay,
up,
listen. What if I could say I don't support white women, but then it'd be like, oh, the white women are a problem.
Just talk about the director.
Well, okay. Oh, okay, the director.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about the stars. I was like, come on.
No.
Okay, anyway, I've got to cut most of that out. But yeah, I'm just like, Jesus. I had a thought and now it's gone. I don't know where it went.
Dang, Colin ruined it with his...
You opened the door.
Yeah, and then you're going to slam it the way you did.
God. I did love Nia DaCosta saying at the panel, like, one of her favorite things has been accosting Kevin Feige and pitching like 17 different movies to him.
Do it.
I agree.
I hope she gets all of them.
Let her do them. All 17. Make some of them shows if you want to. I don't care. Just let Nia DaCosta do what she wants to do.
Do a horror movie.
But yeah, like I said, I'm excited off the strength of just like these characters being in it. I love those three characters. I love Brie Larson's Carol Danvers. I also love her new look that was premiered in Ms. Marvel. I think it's really dope. I'm excited to see Tiana Paris again as Monica Rambeau. I loved Monica on WandaVision. Again, Tiana has such a great energy about her, and I just like having it in this Marvel sphere. And then we've got Iman, who is the biggest MCU nerd possibly on this planet.
Love it.
And uses it to the best of her advantage.
And plays a character who's the same way.
Exactly. So she's perfect for her character. And she's so endearing and charming. And I'm so excited to see Kamala back. And this time on a big screen instead of just being on a TV show.
Yeah.
It was funny because Brie Larson says that she actually learned some stuff about her character from Iman Vellani.
Of course.
I think when Kevin Feige introduced her on the panel, he was just like, he asked her if she had ever been in front of like a crowd of like 5,000 people before. And she was like, no. And like kind of freaking out about it. And he And I think some people in the audience might have laughed or whatever. And he went,
It's not pretend. She is a bigger fan than any of you. And we didn't notice when we cast her. We regretted it only slightly.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm happy for her.
that's like the definition of dreams coming true right there.
Yeah.
But that's it.
We did it.
Oh my gosh, it took us forever.
Man.
I'm glad we decided to make these 2 different episodes.
Same. I'm also glad that we were both here because Colin gave us nothing.
Yes, girl, give us nothing.
Colin's like, you thought Marvel gave you nothing. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Wait till you see what I'm about to do on this couch.
Dear God.
God, you and Gabby said the same amount of things almost. Anyway, audience, thank you for listening to all of Me and Demi. We appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. We know it's been a long one.
What project are you guys most excited about from Marvel or Lucasfilm or even Avatar?
Oh yeah, Avatar was here too. Let us know.
It was.
Let us know. Oh boy. Remember Avatar? We talked about that like 3 hours ago. Thank you, Crown Digital, Brandon, and Io for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. To me, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, doing all the notes, actually speaking. I can't give all the blame to Colin because when we got to Lucasfilm, I slid out the back. Thank you, Colin, for technically being here and, giving some off-screen reactions to certain things that maybe I shouldn't have said. It's fine. But that woman does sound like a pasta dish. Thank you, Discussing Film, for describing all of the footage. Shout out to Andrew. We appreciate you. Listen to us. All right, Leia, Demi already asked, what do you guys think? What are you excited for? Is it Black Panther? Is it not Black Panther? Are you anti-Black? Do we have to have a talk?
Are you in the core audience of Thunderbolts with me?
Yeah, let us know in the comments or hit us on Twitter at y'all_different or Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast or Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC. If you want to talk to me about Black Panther and or Daredevil, find me on Twitter and or Instagram at King Named Simba.
You can hear him on the show, but you can find him on social media.
Talk to me about, I don't know.
He ain't saying nothing over there anyway.
Let's see. Talk to me about,
Talk to him about how bad the MCU is.
No, because I don't think that it's bad. It just isn't for me. I'm not going to say it's bad. I think its place in... This is going too long. Anyway, find me on Twitter at Doug McCoy.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. Once again, you guys can talk to me about Thunderbolts, Black Widow, all sorts of Marvel stuff, or just Star Wars stuff because I love Star Wars. Thanks again for joining us. Tune in next week where we will be doing a review of The Woman King.
Hey, I'm actually very excited for that. Also, if you are looking for Gabby, you can find her. She's in the room looking up pictures of Florence Pugh.
Hey.
She moved on from the Pixar moms finally. She went to Florence Pugh. All right, it's been different. Bye.
Bye.
I have a question.
Yes.
I guess it's mostly for Colin because I know that Colin be on the internet in some weird places. Do you think that someone is working on a Thunderbolts porn parody called Thunder Thighs?
Oh God.
Okay. I don't think someone is, but I think someone will be. Maybe not as of recording this.
Right.
But yeah.
Eventually.
Once we get closer to the movie and you get a better idea of like how exactly they're going to look and their costumes and stuff, because you kind of want to get somewhat close to that,
Yeah.
Then I think, yeah.
Thunder Thighs coming to a theater near you in 2024.